I'm Nikko Locastro, and this is my 2020 in the bag. I'm going to start off with my throwing putters. I prefer throwing the Crown right now just because it's neutral, stays straight. If I want to throw it with hyzer, I can control it. If I want to control the anhyzer, I like the angles that I could do with the Crown. And next I have my Sinus. This has been in my bag for a long time. You could tell it's seasoned, and it's just a great feeling putter, and I feel every time I have this in my hand, I know where it's going to go. And I love the thicker lip on this because when it hits the ground, you're not going to get a freakish skip or a roll away or anything like that. So this has been my go-to for a while, Sinus. Getting into my main putter right now, I'm putting with the Makana currently. Just feels good, stays in the air, stays floating. I feel like I'm making a lot of putts right now with the Makana. Moving on to my mid-range, I'll go with understable to most stable. I got my understable Truth. I have my straight to slightly overstable Truth, EMAC Truth. And then the recent addition to the bag is the Gatekeeper. I wasn't really liking these so much before this new tournament plastic, but the first few shots I threw with this disc were just under the basket. Feels good for power grip, or if I just want to control it at slower speeds with a pinch grip, right down the middle. It's got a little bit of stability, so it can handle a little wind. But now getting into a disc that I really like right now, this is the ANVIL. They just feel awesome. They have a slightly lower profile, and great for my sidearm grip, great for backhand hyzer, or it's overstable enough that I could even turn it over into a headwind and still trust it to fight back left at the end. Now getting into my fairway drivers, I got one Explorer, straight, slightly stable, but mostly straight. Then I have my LONGBOWMAN, which is probably like one notch up from the Explorer, I'd say. Fairly neutral, little bit of stability at the end. Now with the Tournament X LONGBOWMAN, this is a notch up from the original that I had, neutral with a tiny bit more stability to finish the flight. Now getting into my, my bread and butter here, I'd say this disc right here is my go-to. Awesome for the sidearm. Kind of stretches out there a little further than some of the other overstable fairways I've thrown in the past, and it has a good grip to it. It's stiff, but it's still got good grip, and it's tacky, and feeling good about the ATI right now. So I got 3 ATIs in my bag actually, from least understable, very overstable, and extremely overstable with the new Tournament X plastic. And then I have a Fortress, and I'd say the Fortress is a little bit more stretchy than the ATI, but still fairly overstable, especially in the new Tournament X plastic. It feels good in my hand, and I'm looking forward to throwing this one more. To be honest, I just put it in my bag yesterday, 2 days ago, when I was practicing Waterworks Park. The boys at the Dynamic crew, they brought me out a stack of 50, all the new Tournament X plastic, and I'm feeling good with this one right now. Now getting into what I would call more of like a hybrid driver, like in between a fairway driver and a distance driver. I have one Trespass in my bag. It's a little bit understable, but if I'm going to hyzer flip it, I can keep it very straight, and feels good. All my discs are feeling good right now. Then I have a new Giant. I just put it in my bag. Honestly, haven't thrown it yet, but it feels great, and I'm going to put in some more practice with this Giant. Just got it from Brian Shintaku, the team manager over here, and I'm going to put in some work with this one soon. Thanks, Brian. Getting into the distance drivers, from least understable to most overstable. So I got the World. It's great for my sidearm, like stretchy straight shot. It's getting a little beat in. It's getting a little bit understable. So still feeling good with it though. I prefer to throw more sidearm than backhand with the World, but if I'm going to throw it soft with like a pinch grip, it's still very controllable on a straight long line. Next I got the Ballista Pro, which is basically my longest driver. It's a little more touchy, but if I'm going to start it with hyzer, I could throw it extremely far. It doesn't like to be turned over too much with my arm speed, but I can get it to stretch a long way. And I have one more Ballista Pro here. It's just a little bit more overstable than the other one I just showed you. I prefer backhands and sidearms with the Ballista, but probably more, actually it's about even. It's about even. I throw both backhand and sidearm with the Ballista. I got one Gladiator in the bag. Just goes a long way. I could throw it long hyzers, long anhyzers, and I could throw it straight when I need to. So I feel good with the Gladiator. These are my two bombers right here. This is pretty much my go-to driver. It's these Defenders, got these purple pop-top Defenders. These are some of the stiffest discs that I found in the factory, and it just feels great in my hand. I could throw this anywhere that I need to. If I need to stretch it out over 500 feet, no problem. It can handle my arm speed, and these are pretty overstable too. So if I want to go big distance and try to get those flex shots to go 500-600 plus down the fairway, I can get there with the Defender. Moving on to my most overstable discs in my bag, I have the Warhorse. It's just a meat hook. It's very overstable. I could flex it with the sidearm, flex it with the backhand, or just keep it on like a spike hyzer line, touch it down the middle. Very controllable Warhorse. I got this Enforcer here, which is very close to the Warhorse. It's basically, you know, these two are similar in flight characteristics. I'd say the Enforcer could go a little bit further down the fairway, but still have extreme stability at the end. One more Enforcer, which is slightly less stable than this one, but they're similar. The Warhorse and my Enforcers are similar in flight, just Enforcers go a little bit further. This has been a great addition to my bag. Since I got this Opto Stiletto, I'm just loving it. People know I like my overstable discs, and this one goes extremely overstable. I mean, if I'm going to throw a sidearm with it, I could still count on it to get back on the right-hand side of the fairway with a pretty extreme angle. I mean, I could almost throw a roller angle with this one, and it's still trying to fight back out of it. So this is going to be a good win disc for me in 2020. Moving on to my rollers here. My go-to roller disc right now has been a Fury. Got this one from Patrick Brown. Not sure how I acquired it, but Patrick Brown left a box of discs somewhere, and now I have a box of discs from Patrick Brown. So thanks, Patrick. Hook you up with some discs in the future. We're tight like that. And I also have HAVOC in my bag. I've always liked the HAVOC, even before I was sponsored by Westside. This has been a good roller disc for me. I could also get it to fly straight if I'm throwing some wooded lines and I don't want to overpower the disc. I can just kind of throw some smooth hyzer with the HAVOC, still get it to fly. Or if I'm in elevation, I've thrown some of my longest shots with the HAVOC, surprisingly. I'm throwing rollers with this Ballista right now. Just goes a little further than these, and I could throw it more like straight. I don't have to like throw extreme angle. I could just kind of put it down flat, maybe a tiny bit of angle, and it stretches a long way for me throwing rollers with this Ballista. Got one King in the bag. This is a roller that's going to go a long way, but more than likely I'm finishing this one hard right. I don't throw a whole lot of air shots with the King, but like I said before, if I'm in elevation, I'm playing some extreme mountainous courses, I could probably throw the King on some uphill bombs and feel good about it. So that's my lineup for 2020. I also got this, I got a Mini in my bag. Let's see what else I got. I got a crushed fortune cookie. I don't know how that made it. If I'm really in desperate need, I got a couple of these pistachios I haven't eaten yet. I'll probably eat them still, honestly. Got about a month-old bag of trail mix, fruit and nut, you know. Every disc golfer's got like a half-eaten candy bar in his bag, or, you know, you never know. You take a 2-hour drive and you forgot to grab some snacks, I'm probably going to eat these, even though they've been in there for a month. I don't really care. Look at this, Mr. Preparation. 2 pencils in the bag. That's about it, really. That's really about it. That's my 2020 in the bag. This is what I'm working with for right now. I'm looking forward to putting in more reps with all my discs. I'm loving my new lineup, and I appreciate all the support that I'm getting from everybody, and we'll see you guys out there on the course.